Let's talk about problem solving. So last week in my newsletter, I mentioned that I'm not so sure anymore if problem solving is the right use of our energy, sort of this ongoing solving one problem after another. It feels almost like we're trying to push the boulder up the mountain, or we're trying to shove a square peg into a round hole. It's sort of like we're on a hamster wheel of problem solving. And so I want to offer an alternative approach that maybe feels a little lighter, a little freer, maybe offers a little bit more life. So let's talk about problem solving. And of course, as anyone does, let's talk about it by thinking about the tiger beetle and the song of Moses and Miriam from the Old Testament, because obviously that's how you do it. But first, let's go back to last week newsletter. I mentioned the book of Galatians from the New Testament of the Bible. It was written by a man named Paul, and in this letter to a community in the city of Galatia, he insists that we are free from slavery to following rules of do's and don'ts, of right and wrong, of you have to do this in order to please God, in order to be good enough. It's essentially this idea that perfectionism is slavery. And I think, we can translate that to problem solving, this ongoing, never-ending task of having to solve one problem after another, because obviously you cannot solve enough problems to have no problems in life. There's always going to be more, and it's this hamster wheel, this black hole of energy. And there's got to be a better way, and Paul insists in Galatians that there is, that we are actually free from this slavery, that we are free for freedom is actually the word that he uses. And it's interesting that by him talking about being free from slavery, that immediately brings up in the mind of the original readers of these people in Galatia this story of the Exodus. And so the Exodus is all about the people of God being slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. And this story was central to the people of God. It was central to the Israelite community. This idea of being slaves, but then being liberated from slavery. And so Paul, when he talks about freedom from slavery, what he's really doing is he's calling back to this story of the Exodus. And one of the very first sort of scenes in the story of the Exodus, I guess you could say, is Moses shows up to Egypt, demands that Pharaoh let the people go, and Pharaoh kind of kicks back by demanding that the Israelites continue to make bricks. They continue to do their slave labor, but they don't get the materials necessary. And so they have to make bricks without straw. And so they are posed with this problem, that they have work to do, but they don't have what they need to do it. They don't have the materials to do their work. They don't have they don't have what is necessary to do the work. They don't have the right skills. They don't have they don't have the ability to do the work that they're supposed to do. They're supposed to make bricks, but they don't have the straw. And so they start complaining to Moses. They start getting angry. They start getting frustrated. There's anxiety. There's stress. There's anger. There's fear. How are they going to do what they have to do because they don't have what they need? They got to make the bricks, but they don't have the straw. And it's out of this problem that Moses goes to God and says, hey, what's the deal? And God says, you will see my power. It says, you will see the glory of God. You will see how I will solve this problem. See, there was a problem. The Israelites had to make bricks, but they didn't have the straw. And God says, not how are you going to solve the problem? He says, you will see the problem be solved. It's not so much that God says, here's how you're going to solve the problem. He says, no, I'm going to solve the problem, and you're going to see it. You're going to be a witness to the solution. So there's a problem, and the response is you will see how the problem is solved for you. And so the problem is solved. The Israelites are freed from slavery. And so they pack up their things and they head out and they travel and they get all the way to the Red Sea. And then they are faced with another problem. So on one side of the community is the Red Sea. And on the other side is Pharaoh's army. Because Pharaoh changed his mind. He decided that he didn't want to let all of his slaves go. He didn't want to give up his economy, essentially. And so he goes after them with his army. And his plan is to re-enslave them and to bring them back and to put them to work. And so the Israelites are faced with a real problem. They've got Pharaoh's army behind them, and they've got the Red Sea in front of them. And so yet again, they turn to Moses and they say, what's the deal? Why didn't you just leave us alone? We were at least in Egypt. We had food to eat. We had something to do. And now it's looking like, heck, he might kill us. He's so angry. And those who he doesn't kill, he's going to bring back to slavery. It's not going to go well. So the Israelites have a problem. On one side of them is the Red Sea, and the other side is Pharaoh's army. And so they complain to Moses. And Moses says to them, do not be afraid, stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. He says, the Egyptians that you see today, you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And so there was a problem, a big one. They're stuck. And the solution is not, well, do this, do that. It's, well, you'll see. You will see the solution present itself for you. So, tiger beetles. The tiger beetle is a species of beetle that is remarkably fast. It can run up to like 5.5 miles per hour, which is like 125 times its body length. Essentially, if you were to translate that into human speed, the human would have to run like 400 and some miles per hour to match the equivalent speed of a tiger beetle. And a tiger beetle moves so fast that actually, while he's running, he can't see clearly. The world around him literally turns into like a blur because light cannot enter into his eyes and into his tiny little beetle brain fast enough for him to process what is going on. So in order for a tiger beetle to see where it is going, it actually has to stop every few feet from running so that it can see clearly again. The tiger beetle moves so fast that it cannot see clearly. And in order to see clearly, in order to see where it's going, in order to navigate its world, the tiger beetle has to stop moving. And so there's this question that comes up for me. When it comes to problem solving, is not so much the question of what will I do, but it's more of a question, what will I see? Because the solution in the scriptures is always, you will see. It's not, well, this is what you need to do. It's, no. You will see what is done for you. And so the question for problem solving is not, what will I do? How do I solve this problem? It's all up to me. I have to figure it out because remember, that is just another form of slavery. It's not about what will I do, how do I figure it out? It's what will I see? What can I witness to? What is the goodness that I get to be a witness to? Which leads us to the song of Moses and Miriam. Because after the Israelites were stuck at the Red Sea, and they cry out to Moses, and Moses reassures them, you will see the deliverance for you. They cross the Red Sea because, of course, God opens it up, and they walk through on dry land, and it closes behind them, and the Egyptians can't get to them. And on the other side of the Red Sea, the Israelites break out into song. They recognize the goodness of the world. They recognize that they are no longer in slavery, but they are free to experience life in its fullness of joy and its abundance after witnessing what was done for them. The Israelites burst out into song because, of course, out of witness comes creativity. When I see goodness all around me, that compels me to create good things. When I see joy around me, that's contagious. When I am a witness to all of the possibilities around me, that creates an abundance of creativity. So, is the question, what will I do? Or is the question, what will I see? Because really, it's not about being productive. It's not about problem solving. It's not about doing the right thing. It's about being present. It's about being alive. It's about being awake. It's about seeing the possibilities that are all around me. And out of witnessing all of these possibilities, out of witnessing what is right there in front of me, comes creativity. It's not about being productive. It's about being present. It's not about what do I do. It's about what do I see all around me. What is the goodness? What is the possibility? What is the infinite creativity of the universe that's all around me, and I just get to be a part of it. Out of witnessing that comes the creativity. So, I don't know about you, but to me, that is a much freer way to live. It's not about being stuck in this bondage of problem solving, in this endless cycle of slavery to having to figure it all out time after time. It's about being a witness to what is good all around us and allowing the creativity to flow. So, peace be with you.